From the challenges of growing up in apartheid-era South Africa to his passion for using music as a tool for change, Lucky's story is a testament to resilience, hope, and the power of authentic storytelling through music. Don't miss this rare opportunity to connect with the roots of his iconic songs and understand the journey behind the music that moved millions. Dive into the exclusive interview with the legendary reggae icon, Lucky Dube, as he shares his childhood experiences that shaped his music. In this heartfelt conversation, Lucky Dube reveals how the struggles, triumphs, and moments of his early life inspired the powerful lyrics and soulful melodies that have resonated with fans across the globe.
Rasta is about consciousness. Rasta is about awareness. I took upon Rastafarianism not as a religion, but as a way of life. Because religion is sometimes like politics, it divides people.
Sure.
If you belong to some religion, I belong to another religion, we sometimes don't go very well together.
Lucky Dube have the outer appearance of Rasta, dreadlocks, sing reggae music. Some tell me that the other time he appear in Selematunzi and denouncing fundamental aspect of Rastafari faith, the divinity of His Majesty, the herb smoking, the herb ganja among I and I, you see?
Because Rastafari is not such as ism like socialism and, you know, those kind of ism, but it's more like the life that you live. Reggae music is about the life that the Rastafari people live.
We go on stage, they say, he can't do that on stage sober. He must be drunk or he must be on drugs or anything. I don't do all of those things. It's just the music that just makes us do what we do or look the way we do on stage.
What connection does reggae music and Rasta have, right? So now, because it's the gospel music for the Rastafari people. So now, for you to really take it on a holistic level, that means to say you have to carry the image also. So what I see with Lucky, him love the music, him play the music, and him play it properly too. But at the same time, him only took the image of the Rastafari man.
The people that brought reggae to the world, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh and them, came with this ganja thing. They smoked ganja, and that's like, wow, if you want to do reggae music and do it very well, then you got to smoke ganja.
Right.
Or if you do reggae and you want to do it well, you got to have dreadlocks. Dreadlocks were there in Africa before reggae music, before everything, before guitars and before recording studios. Black people in Africa were dreadlocks.
The driving force that drive the origin of reggae music was the Rastafari philosophy, the Rastafari consciousness, the Rastafari thinking.
Rasta is about consciousness. Rasta is about awareness.
You have a reggae icon who might not necessarily be Rasta. But I'm not saying Lucky Dube, he is a Rasta or not, you know? I say, Rasta said, who feels it knows it.
I started working before I went to school, actually, because there was basically no money to take me to school and everything. So I started working, just doing odd garden jobs and stuff like that.
Yes.
And supporting my grandmother and my other sisters. And to me, that was being a man.
Okay.
You know, I became a man at the age of 6. My childhood is what makes my song. The experience I had as a child is what I sing about today.
Richard Saluma was Lucky's producer, and they came to me and they said they wanted to record reggae music. I said, but reggae comes from Jamaica. How can you record African reggae? They said, no, we want to do African reggae. They went into the studio and they recorded, and that was the first recording that Lucky made was with Gallo. That album sold over 500,000 units.
From when I started doing music, I had a great love for reggae music, what we were hearing from Jamaica, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley and stuff. I loved reggae very much, but at the time, in South Africa, I couldn't do reggae music because of the government of the time. I think they found reggae to be making people aware of the political situation. So the government at the time didn't like reggae music very much. I started doing mbaqanga, but when I felt the time was right, then I did the switch, which made a lot of people angry at the time because the mbaqanga stuff that I did was very popular. People liked it and it was just a big thing. People liked it, and since nobody was doing reggae music in South Africa, even the record company was not happy about it because they didn't know what was going to happen.
There's a man that came to South Africa in 1976. His name was Jimmy Cliff, who came to perform at Orlando Stadium. And then I actually went to Orlando Stadium just to see Jimmy Cliff performing, because in my mind I had this reggae star that's coming, and I wanted to see what do I need to do to have a reggae star that can be like Jimmy Cliff or be better than Jimmy Cliff.
Lucky Dube and Stamila were one of the reasons why I wanted to get into the music industry. But at that stage he wasn't doing reggae. He was doing more of his traditional music. And I joined Gallo in 1984. It was very soon after that Lucky's got into reggae.
He had an opportunity. He was a genuine, passionate believer and lover of reggae music. But he's a lover of reggae music, not Bhangra and not that stuff. He could have adapted a style, but he became old school reggae in a way that reinterpreted, which in an African context made it fresh.
We went to the studio. I think it was Springbok Radio, they called it at the time, or some radio station there, which was mainly a white radio station. And so I was being interviewed by I think it was Alex J, and he played the song Together as one on that radio. And at that time it was like a no black music on there, and a lady afterwards phoned the station to say, hey, tell that guy there he must go to Radio Bantu, which is now Radio Zulu. He must go and play his music at Radio Bantu, not here, and stuff like that. For me it was a great achievement that they played that music on that station, you know, the first time, and it talked about apartheid and the whole thing. It was great fun. I think the time is right now in South Africa that people get together.
We started music in South Africa, right? It's the people in South Africa that gave us a stamp of approval, basically. And so, but what happens now, reason we don't perform that much here is because of the fact that there's now a lot of opportunities that come up internationally, some of which can never be repeated. And so we take in those opportunities. We go out there, we perform. And sometimes, yes, we would go for 2 years not performing in South Africa at all. But we have done work here, like with the Live Aid concert that we did here, you know. And also sometimes it is good to stay away for a while and then come back again. I had to go out to the people, teach people how to vote, especially in the farm areas. That's where we went, and just educating people. It was very important for me. I think it was a very necessary service that I did there.
The first time I heard him is that he sounded very much like Peter Tosh, you know. At that time, Peter Tosh was already passed, and I heard somebody sounding like him but with different lyrics, you know.
Peter Tosh is the guy I look up to. His music still inspires me even today. You know, he was a great musician. Very, I liked everything about him. Yeah, he still inspires me. Guys like Hugh Masekela, guys like Mama Miriam and Hot Sticks. Hot Sticks, he inspired me even more than musically, but just as a person. When Harare was like the happening thing in South Africa, Sipho was Sipho. And even today, you meet him, Sipho, he's still the same Sipho as he was in the past.
When I first heard Lucky, in fact, I actually told Gallo, I said, watch Lucky. There is talent in abundance in Lucky. One of the best voices this country's ever seen.
He's been like that, and sometimes I wish I could be like that when I'm like older. Let me be like that. I've been trying to get him to come and play on some of our songs, but I just can't get him to do that.
I can only say, Lucky, I'm waiting. Don't wait until I have no energy.
It's very expensive. I can't afford him. Every album that we've released after '87 has been successful. But the way I look at how successful an album is, fine, it's okay, you look at how much you got for that particular album, but also you go further than that. You know, this album or this song, how has it touched people in their daily lives? Has it done something for the people? When we did the song Remember Me, we did that song, it was about me. It was about what happened to me. But then when we go out performing and stuff like that, we meet a lot of people who would say, you know, that song was not about Lucky Dube, it was about me. And also, in a political situation where you get politicians to listen to what you're saying, and that we regard as success as well.
It's always positive, it's always keeping the society fresh in new ideas and things that will heal, you know.
I know Lucky Dube is called complete, you know, but a Frostan, right? Ega Bending Spear was hating on him because he was selling more records in NY and shit. And he ordered meat.
Me and Lucky Dube, we grew up together actually. The person behind us was my grandma. You know? She's the lady that made sure that we eat and we have clothing to go to school and to do a lot of things. But unfortunately, she was not very rich, but she tried and bring us up in that particular kind of life.
It wasn't a happy childhood as I look at it now, but at that time, I mean, I knew nothing better. You know, that was what I was getting, and I thought, well, that's what life is all about. But now, having gone and seen things, you know, growing up without your father and without your mother, and you know, no clothes, no food sometimes, and all of that, it was a hard thing. I mean, as it was a very poor situation. You know, it was very poor. But I mean, I grew up, you know, because of my grandmother. Because I know sometimes she would go, you know, without food. She would go on without food for like 3 days or something. But she would always make sure that I get something to eat. I was the only one that, I mean, she was responsible for at that time. But as I grew up, there were like other kids that came in, because the thing with my grandmother is that she accepted everybody.
She was like a mother to us, you know. She was a mother to us. My mom was there. It was nice to say mom, but Coco was still the best.
When we're on stage, I always think that I wish my grandmother could be here to see, you know, us do this. And so when I went to the studio that year, it was like, okay, I'm doing this is good, but she won't see this, you know, in her physical being. But I know she sees and she feels this in her spiritual being. That's basically the only comfort I have right now, that in her spiritual being she sees all this. Because, you know, when we work and we get paid and stuff like that, I would go to her place and bring her groceries, bring her money and stuff, and she would say things like, so where do you work, really? Where do you work? I say, hey, I'm a musician, I sing. She says, no, I understand the singing part. You do that, I see you on TV and stuff, but what's your job? What's your real job? You know, it's like doing music is not real, but I have to have like a real job. And but you know, she was the person in my life. She was the main man in my life. In a contract it says a year and one album a year or stuff like that, but we have this understanding that I'll go to the studio when I'm ready. Whether it's after 2 years or 3 years, I'll go in when I'm ready. Studio is very, very difficult, you know, because that is where everything happens. That is where studio is the first place where you get to hear the music. Because when you hear a song in your head, it's just you that hears the song. It's just you that knows the song. And when you have to get the band to play it now in the studio, the sound engineer to record it and stuff, you're thinking all of those things. Is it gonna come out right? You know, maybe you heard it in your head, it was nice, but when it gets played by the band in the studio, it's not coming out the way you heard it in your head. That happens all the time, you know. People love the music, and I'm very happy about it, you know. It's chaos, yes, when people rush into the stadium, breaking down gates and stuff, climbing over walls just to see you and stuff like that. It's all very exciting. It's all very good to say, hey, I'm just a guy, you know, I'm really nothing, but here's people doing whatever they can to just get a glimpse of me.
I saw him twice, I think, in the biggest stadium, and it was nice. It was very nice. People dancing, singing, know the lyrics. Even sometimes they don't understand, but catch the vibe, and it's peace and love, harmony.
He'd been in Nairobi, man. People broke down gates, you know what I mean? He's one of the most popular reggae artists. He can't even come there anymore, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it won't be a concert, it'll be chaos. He said it himself. He cannot perform there.
One time, I think it was Numia or Fiji, but some of those Pacific islands, we had prisoners escaping from jail to come and see our show, because we were performing there. And so like 5 songs into the set, we saw people just running around, and there's all like this craziness going, and I'm like, okay, what's happening? I'm thinking, okay, no, the sound is really happening. Look at them moving. And yet it was the prisoners being chased by police. and now the police are like re-arresting them. And it was like, oh, okay. And we went back on stage and we like pleaded with the police, because we don't get to do those shows like every year. Maybe it's like every 10 years or every 7 years. So we like pleaded with the police, okay, can they just watch the show till the end and then you can just take them? It's okay, you can keep them there, but you know, they escaped to see the show. Let them at least see the show. And the police were okay, they were reasonable, because they were like dancing there with the prisoners and stuff in handcuffs. And I'm thinking, you know, it's very touching, it's nice. Jamaica, that was what, 91, 92. That was actually one of the greatest moments, you know, in my life as a reggae musician, because every reggae artist in the world dreams about performing at the Reggae Sunsplash. So when we got that invitation, we were so happy. We went there, and there was all these great bands, and the stadium was like full, and it was just unbelievable. And we were there from South Africa, and it was great. So we got on and we performed. We had like maybe 20 minutes or 15 minutes there. And Jamaican audiences, very, very difficult, because you go there and you start performing, they just stand there and they look at you. You're thinking, oh boy, is the sound happening? What's happening? But we did our 20 minutes, and everybody was dancing, clapping and stuff, and we got off stage. They wanted an encore. And the organizers, I think it was Mr. Johnson, he came back to us and he says, please go back and do some more. And we were happy, because they told us later that was the first time that it happened like that, because with the Sunsplash, it's all time, you know, time is very important. If they gave you like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, that's it. You don't do more, you don't go back. They said it only used to happen during Bob Marley's time and Peter Tosh and all that. And so we were very happy.
I'm reggae. I mean, there's a song I wrote some years ago saying, you know, the bed that I sleep on is a reggae bed, and everything I do is reggae. So, I mean, I'll always be reggae.
But Lucky's future will always be music, you know. I would like to do music for as long as I can, and tour for as long as I can. Maybe when I'm about 65, 70, I would still be touring and stuff, but yeah, the future is music.